So hi, welcome to the Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with,
I'm Ash.
And I'm Tyler, and we're GILT.
and we're asking some questions today about their new EP, In Windows Through Mirrors. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
I feel like there's been so many people who have I didn't expect to listen to it, who did, and was like, this is amazing. Like this is a big sound for Guilt. And it was just really cool, like for this being like a whole entire like rebrand almost.
Yeah.
That we didn't know how people were going to take it, and that people were so receptive and were so interested in listening. And we were very scared, but the responses are really good. So
Yeah.
This is
Very
easily
happy
your
to
best work yet. I love this EP.
100%.
It's so good. Your vocals, so good. The switch and
Magnificent.
everything, it was
Immaculate.
perfect. Yep.
thank you. I appreciate I feel like I can track how far I have at least come from vocals and all that stuff. And working with Hansel definitely was like a milestone point in my life of like really seeing where I can like expand and all that stuff.
You guys are going to continue to work with him, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hansel is also not like full producing, but doing like consultation on the next release we're doing next year.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I love them. I love this group that's forming right now. It's like the Avengers. I'm just so happy to see them. Yeah.
Listen, it was like an entire Avengers meetup when we were in Baltimore.
Oh my God.
And we had dinner. We had lunch with Pink Shift and Hansel. It was like,
Goddamn.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
They're like,
were there?
go to the turnstile billboard. And we're like, what?
Oh my God. Wait, were there pictures of this? I didn't see this happening.
yes, there are
There's a
pictures.
picture somewhere,
I
yeah.
think it's on our
Pictures,
Twitter,
yeah.
but we should repost it and be like, hey, remember the
We should
meetup of the century?
repost it. Do you remember
Yes.
when we had clout?
No, but I definitely need to see this because that's definitely historic. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was a lot of fun.
So very happy. So back to the EP. Sorry.
No, you're good.
So is there any meaning behind the EP name or cover art?
So I have this nasty habit of writing songs and then just picking a lyric and like that's the title, and then I'll pick a song and be like that's the name of the record.
Okay.
And our manager was like, hey, could you try being creative just a little bit for me, just this once?
Yeah.
And like try to give it like a name that's not just directly in the thing. And I was like, all right. So we started just going through a bunch of photography from friends that we had, and I went into my personal like poetry book collection, and we just started like rifling through stuff and throwing out names, because like obviously the two songs already existed, and then the one song was kind of like a B-side that I had been floating around for a bit, and like we weren't exactly sure, and we're like, oh, it's the perfect kind of glue between them. So like we already had the material, and then it was just like, I don't know, we just came across the right set of words and like, oh, that's the title, because it's, you know, like the reverse, like you can't travel through mirrors. And then the picture of my friend Annie, I was like, this is it, this is the image, because it's got that really cool spooky quality, but it's also like pretty, and it has, I like the colors in it. And like Annie's a visual artist, but I was like, can I use this selfie you took for album art? And they're like, yeah, I guess.
Mhm.
All right. Very cool.
That's perfect.
So can you tell us a little about your writing process for this EP? I know you said two of the songs were already out. Did you guys rework them to fit the new lineup changes and everything?
We definitely walked into working with Hansel with more of an idea of like production wise where we wanted to go. Like the engineer who also did mixing and mastering and did everything on the full length was like, what do you guys want it to sound like? And we're like, I don't know, like the songs. Like we didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was our first time in a studio. And then with Hansel, we were like, oh, we want a kick drum that sounds like this. We want guitars that sound like this. And then Hansel worked with Ash on all the vocal padding. And like, we had never done any of that before. We were like, it has to be exactly like the live show.
Yeah.
And all those arrangements were really like, I would consider that writing in the same way as like writing lyrics was writing. And I think you had that built into you, and then Hansel was just kind of like guiding it.
Yeah, well, like Hansel, I remember at one point when we were doing the vocals and everything, they looked at Tyler and they were like, "Am I good to just like full on just
Yeah,
like
just
hands
go.
on the project like with what I want?" And we were like, "Of course." So I was like, "Yeah," and like we talked about like a lot of like what do we want this to sound like? Like at the end of the day, like who can we like say like this is like the perfect sonic match? And it was like Loathe was one of the artists that we had like jumped onto. Was like this sound is like we want to like try to like work in this space of like this like big kind of ethereal just kind of soundscape, but also like a lot of chorus pedal stuff. And yeah.
Sure. Wow. Sounds like it was a lot more hands-on, and you guys felt like a lot more comfortable then just working.
We were a lot more, I feel like, thoughtful is like how I would approach it. Like we were informed about the process of making music, and that allowed us to think about, especially since the lyrics were kind of there, and for the 2 songs at least, the instruments were already tracked. We didn't we tracked a little bit of additional stuff, but mostly it was just like remixing it.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome.
I have to ask, what animal did you just let up on the couch? Can we say hi to it?
Oh, this is sorry. This is my dog Cece.
Hi Cece.
Hi Cece.
She's like 10 or 11, so she the winter is a little hard on her, and she stays a lot closer to me.
Well, I love her.
She missed me. So
you okay? I thought Ash was gonna start crying.
Cece is so adorable. It's just like it's sleep time, please.
Yeah.
Please be quiet.
My partner has a puppy, and they have like exactly opposite like energy. So like the puppy just like, I was almost cursed, beat the heck out of Ash earlier.
You could curse.
No, I've been on tour. I gotta work it back down. So I'm gonna see my family soon for the holidays. But my dog's really chill and just like very depressed looking. So just the two genders.
Yeah.
Of course.
Very chill and beaten up.
I feel like I should ask, what is the puppy's name?
The puppy's name is Yuka, like the little potato thing.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Love that.
That's adorable. Okay. So I want you two to tell us your favorite lyric off this EP and the meaning behind it.
Ooh.
Okay. I'll go first. I think my favorite lyric off the EP has to be in Through Mirrors. But it's the entire line where it's not to complain, but sometimes it gets depressing how almost your entire skill
that's
set
the one you like
is investments your parents made. Yes, because it really hits home. And we actually just had our hometown show, and my mom was there, and I was like, I'm sorry for the chat.
Yeah.
But like it really feels like it's trying to come to terms with like the idea of like, you are whoever you chose as like the person I look up to. And then it's like after a certain amount of time, it's like how much of that person you look up to is just they put themselves into you. And it's like, where is the you part, kind of thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. So like when I wrote that, when I was writing the original, song, that was the line that I was the most concerned about, because everything else about guilt is very like, it's a metaphor, or it's like really vague. And that was the most like, I felt like it was just a person talking.
I mean, like
I was very nervous about that. So that's very validating for me. I appreciate that.
It's a really good line.
Thank you. I like in Long Time Coming, it's the one we put on the shirt, I think. The some things can be carefully disassembled, not everything has to fall apart. That like I said, I wrote that song a bit ago and I was kicking it around, and I just feel like it's really applicable to a lot of things. I'm very analytical of the ways in which people disengage from things, because I feel like people really get caught up in their feelings, and like whether it's a romantic engagement or a business engagement or what, like, like roommate situation, like people who were like 10 minutes ago super, super tight, all of a sudden it's like, it has to blow up, like it has to be like a world ending, devastating thing for people to leave. And I'm always just like, you can amicably leave a situation. You can be like, this was good and it's not anymore. And, and it doesn't have to be that. But I think we spend a lot of time talking about how like digital spaces also encourage like dramatic narratives and stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
stuff doesn't have to be that deep.
You were doing so good.
Christmas is gonna be so rough.
I believe in you. You can do it.
Yeah, do it. So where was your headspace at while you guys were writing the CP?
Ash?
I think for
If you don't say depressed, we're gonna be lying.
I was gonna say, I think for the most part, it was like when we started talking about doing this EP, it was still like in the midst of the pandemic. There was no like bright light at the end of the tunnel that we would ever make it out of this. And it was kind of like, I'm just gonna be home forever.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was hard to like kind of deal with in terms of like thinking about the direction of the EP and trying to take my personal emotional state, which was very foggy. I had like a very foggy brain, but also knowing kind of what I wanted like this to do at the end of the day. It was just very, very foggy, I think, for the most part. And I think all these experiences were also just new experiences for us. So going to Baltimore and doing these vocals and tracking the vocals and then coming home and then working with a team that we had like assembled a little bit with the EP release, everything was new. And also like we shot a music video for this.
Boy, did we.
With long story short, a lot of bees.
There was a lot of bees.
There was a lot of bees.
Oh.
I'm so sorry about the amount of bees. It's just a lot of it was new, and it was like trying to find my way through all of it, like clearing the fog. That's kind of where my head was at.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, like I said, we were going at it more thoughtfully about the music part, but like the thing that Ash brought up with Hansel being like, can I just go full tilt on this stuff? That I feel like that was a lot more pleasant of a presentation than it actually was. I think everybody was really nervous about me. And that was like a big like elephant in the room because I was like the singer. I'm like, I'm the writer. I was the singer. It was like my baby project. And did we tell y'all before about Ash like messing their arm up on the road?
I don't think so.
No.
We were on tour, I don't know, like before the pandemic, like 2 years ago, whatever. And Ash was the drummer, and Ash tore a ligament in their shoulder and could not play. And I can play drums passably. So I was immediately playing drums and singing at the same time.
Oh my God.
And like
just full speed ahead. You were like doing drums, screaming, singing, all of it.
And like, it worked. And I think the novelty of it was cool, but like, it wasn't great. And then like when Ash started feeling a bit better, they're like, what can I do? And we're like, can you sing? And then we heard it and everyone was like, Tyler, bad news for you. You're not a very good drummer and you're not the best singer in the band. But Hansel was the same way. Hansel was like, do I have your permission to fundamentally change the genre, as well as like throwing Ash in, not just having Ash do a clone of what I was doing, but actually like kind of go into their own thing. And I feel like I was a lot less anxious about it than everyone thought I would be. Like my whole character arc with this project has been kind of like learning to work with people and trust other people. So I was just excited to see it happen. A lot of the material is very depressing, and revisiting a lot of it, I feel like you have to get back in that headspace. So we spent a lot of time talking about like what the songs were like distinctly about. But aside from that, I think it was a good time in the making process.
For sure.
That's good.
And it even like from an outside perspective, it feels and looks like all of the pieces are kind of in place for the band now. You guys seem more comfortable and everything. Like when we interviewed you about the first album, you were very like, you were nervous, and something just kind of felt like it was missing, both like in the record, not to be mean or anything, but like in the record itself, and then also just like in the way you guys presented yourself. So it seems like everyone's a lot more comfortable now.
Yeah, I mean, I just took a bunch of Benadryl, so
I mean,
fair enough.
I mean, Jesus Christ, like like granted, like drums wasn't. I did the drums, and they were certainly drums, and they were there doing what they needed to do, I guess.
we had this conversation at some point where, I mean, Tilly was always just a phenomenal guitar player. Like that's just since day one. It was Tilly and I were like the original members. And everyone else that we've brought in has been somebody that we liked and wanted to work with, but I don't think that they were like, I don't want to say even like self-deprecatingly. They were just like, hey, I'm not as good as Tilly is on guitar at the thing you're assigning me to do.
Mhm.
And Ash would like all the time be like, I'm holding the band back. And we're like, no, this is it's perfectly fine. But then hearing Ash sing was like, oh, this is where you're supposed to be. You are completely like in your zone at this task. And then I spent the pandemic studying like song structure and really working on writing more cohesive parts. And I just showed my mom some of the new demos, and they go a lot harder than the old songs. And she didn't do the thing where she's like, why do you have to do all the screaming? And I was like, how come you didn't say that? Like, have I just like Stockholm syndrome you into this? And she's like, no, it flows a lot better and it makes sense. And I don't have to love it, but it's a good song. And I was like, oh, we're all good at our thing now.
Yeah,
for sure.
Really cool. And we've got our new drummer is like the best drummer in Florida. We've been talking about her for years. Like I knew her in like my old band. We used to play shows together, and it was always like, hey, if we ever need a drummer, that's who we're gonna get. And we got her now, so everything's perfect.
Hell yeah.
Like
oh my god,
it was just wild seeing like, cause like I mean going into the studio and I was tracking drums, and then I was like thinking of like the next time we just got back from the studio, and Allie was tracking drums for this material that we just recorded, and it was like just going ham and just like really like not even stopping like to like getting like, because I got frustrated, like I had to take stops and I was like, I can't keep working right now, like I'm hitting a wall. But Allie was just like is like got it done. It was so cool.
For clarification, she's doing the drums on a Long Time Coming, which I know that song is a ballad and it's kind of slow, but like the middle part, I still feel like it's like I don't know, I imagine it as like a 80s Phil Collins-y kind of section. And she was like, oh, is that what you want? Okay.
oh my god.
Well, she just showed up one day. We had never practiced it, and she went to the thing and recorded it, and it was just like, oh, okay, one take, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Love that.
I'm so excited for you guys. This is gonna be really good. All right. So how do you guys recommend your listeners to listen to this EP for the first time? Should they play it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Should they blast it at a party? What do you guys personally recommend?
I will say, if you show up at a party and you play I Didn't Want You As a Mirror and they kick you off the aux, I'm sorry. Like as the song is very like emotional for me, but I know that like sometimes we're in the van and we're like, I'll have aux, I'll just play the beginning of Through Mirrors where I just go, and everyone's like, no,
I don't know.
Turn that off.
So I think it's like, if you're the first time you're listening to it, personally, I think it should be a very intimate, like just listen to Ignore What's Missing, Long Time Coming, and then Through Mirrors straight through by yourself and like really digesting it that way. And because I think after that, like Ignore What's Missing in Windows in parentheses, Ignore What's Missing is a song that you can probably then like just put on your car and just be like, like I can like hear all the instruments and everything kind of take over. But I think for the other two, they become a bit more personal, and a bit more like an intimate listening experience for that. I
agree. I don't think after infinite listens I could ever listen to Mirror with like another person and like sing along to it. Like it just that's my like, okay, everyone in the van is asleep, I'm gonna put this on and cry type music.
All right, fair enough. So this question should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this EP for new listeners in 3 words, no more, no less. Both you have to do it.
You first.
Really pretty emo.
Oh, damn.
Okay. There you go.
Crying, but bopping?
Okay. Yeah, I'll
like
take
that.
those. Yeah, those are very good.
I'm gonna downvote bopping.
I was thinking in my head, I was like crying, but jamming. I feel like I'm like so dating myself, but I'm not. Anyways.
Fine. It was perfect.
Can we ask what your 3 words would be?
Oh my god.
I hate when people flip. Yeah, it does. Shane, you first.
Fucking smack her, bro.
No, that's the next release.
Screaming, sobbing, dancing.
Yes. Yeah. See, I like that.
There you go.
That was a good one, Lori.
Thank you.
I don't see that, but I mean, if that's what y'all feel, like, I can't tell you how to digest it. Long time coming is my like night drive, just like watching the streetlights go past.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm bopping.
Exactly. Yeah. Bop. All right. So, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this EP to invoke in your listeners?
I think the emotion that I would like for it to invoke is a lot of just it's so like the whole story, I guess, that we put together for this EP is kind of like an overarching thing of like loss, and also like, but like loss in different terms. Like it didn't necessarily have to be like a loss of a person. It could be a loss of a situation, or a loss of a relationship, or a loss of like just like certain ties you had to a thing, and not having those ties anymore, and how to kind of accept that, and how to grow with it, and how to move forward with that situation having happened. So I think a lot of the emotion I want people to feel is that, like, I say every night, like, or every night on this past tour, I was saying that, like, you know, grief is not like a linear thing. Like, experiencing something like that in any kind of situation isn't linear. So it's not like I went through this thing and now I'm just going to get better. It's like, you know, it's a process of understanding every aspect of a situation and how things happened. So yeah, that's kind of the...
No, that's the whole setup for sure.
I like that. Very good. So picture this: you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Oh, you have it. Yes, agreed.
What was the $2 hot fries?
Good.
We're definitely going to a Buc-ee's because we're on tour, and I'd like to use a restroom that doesn't look like a war zone.
Fair enough. That's fair.
And if I'm eating food at the Buc-ee's, I'm just gonna get the pulled pork sandwich, and I'm gonna go to get the biggest drink, which sucks because the middle-sized drink is 69 cents. I'm always like, nice, but I have to get the bigger one.
Come on.
And the big drink, I do half the Buc-ee's like store brand peach black tea, and half Arnold Palmer, because they have that on tap there.
That sounds very good.
Oh, that's a dream, having it on tap.
I wish that
Buc-ee's on tap too. It's so good.
God.
I wish Buc-ee's wasn't just like a South thing. Like, I know we have Wawa like on the Northeast, but like that's not Buc-ee's, man.
Yeah.
Buc-ee's is just mini Disney.
It is. It's true. You ever want to buy a gun grunt shirt at Disney? Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's. All right, I gotta hit up a Buc-ee's. Right? So on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be?
Interesting. My first thought was tortellini, and I was like, no, that doesn't make any sense. But maybe it does to, like, I don't know why that was like, but just like tortellini pasta, because it's like, oh, it's pasta, then you eat it and it's just full of like a thing, and you're like, oh, there's a lot going on in here.
There you go. You explained it. It works.
My brain immediately said nails for dinner, tacks for snacks, but like I don't even want to shout out Panic at the Disco because Brendan Urie's just such a douche. But
we could say Ryan. We could say Ryan Ross.
Yeah, we I'm pretty Ryan sure. Ross.
Yeah, we love Ryan.
Young Veins wasn't that good, but like we'll deal with it.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that, because I've had to fake liking Young Veins for the longest time.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And
they suck so bad.
I don't like it.
I enjoy being part of a fandom of bands where like part of the fandom is admitting the band isn't good. Like Thursday being my favorite band is really easy because everyone's like, Jeff is the worst at singing, isn't it great? And I'm like, yes. Yeah.
Perfect.
I think GILT would definitely be like, well, a lot of people are vegetarian or vegan, so you're gonna have to like take that into account, that this dish is probably some sort of tofu, but like some sort of, I'm thinking of like a rack of ribs where it's like, it's good, but it's messy, and you feel like maybe you're not like doing it the right way. And it's just like not something you want to be seen doing in public, but it's like really, really enjoyable, like on like an interpersonal level.
That's a very...
Okay. I understand it. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
I get it.
So for the last couple of questions, we're going to shift away from music. So if you could be one animal for the rest of your life, what animal would you be and why?
I would be a bat. I would be a bat. I would be in the sky. I'd be sleeping. I got bats tattooed on my wrist.
Ash is really into bats.
That'd be pretty cool.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that. You would be CC.
BCC, yeah.
Like this dog is so spoiled. Yeah, I think if we could just swap places, I'd be pretty chill.
That's a good answer.
Perfect. All right. So if you could have lunch with any celebrity or artist, dead or alive, who would you have lunch with and why?
Okay, you go first because I'm still thinking. I have two, but
No, go ahead. Let's epic rap battles of history them and see who won.
Oh, okay.
Would have lunch with Courtney from Spirit Box.
Yes, so true.
So listen, I have so many questions. Like, please, I need to pick your brain and just see just how you go about music because it's just I love it.
Mhm.
And probably the Daniel Danger from Some Stranger who also does like media art as well. I love the album they put out last year and it's been like one of my top favorite albums of all time and I just want to know like what that entire process was like. So I think those are the two people I would
yeah, I just want 15 minutes with Courtney here on this podcast to just pick her brain about everything. Like that's all we need, 15.
That's all we need.
You're like, please. And then you know what? And then you can go ahead and do Spirit Box show.
Yeah.
And
Exactly. Go on with your day.
Yeah. I mean, I think the people who I have that were like music idols to me that I can still like outwardly rep because they aren't bad people and didn't get canceled is a very small list.
Yeah.
Kevin Devine is probably at the top of that for me. He just seems like a really wholesome person who would have a lot of like down to earth advice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all like Kevin, but Kevin used to travel in the same like pack with like Manchester Orchestra and Brand New. And
okay. Yeah.
Kevin opened for Brand New when they came to the amphitheater. If you just need to censor that band name, that's fine.
You're good.
They came to the St. Augustine Amphitheater. But like no one came out to see him. And I was like, this guy's been going for like a million years. He has a bunch of good music. If I could recommend a record to y'all, his album Brother's Blood is like a top to bottom, like very influential record for me.
Oh,
check it out.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So for the last question, boom, you're on a desert island. You can bring one movie, one person, and one album. Who and what are you bringing?
Okay. The movie is the hardest one.
Why? It's just gonna be like the Bratz Christmas special.
Oh, you're right. Hold on.
Right.
Wait. It's wait a minute. It's going to be Bratz Genie Magic.
Okay.
I love that movie. It's definitely a movie. And I think I will bring Spirit Box's Eternal Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'll bring my partner. And then that's it.
Perfect.
I'm good. I'm set.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, I thought about bringing my partner, and I thought like maybe I should let them just choose the movie and the music because like I don't want to subject them to the shit that I like. Like if you're gonna have to live on an island with me that long, I don't want to make you watch The Fountain over and over and over and over. But then I was like, why didn't I just ask Bear Grylls to come and then we can get off the island?
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, like why don't I just pick somebody who?
I mean, you want to get off the island? What if you just want to stay there for like a little bit?
No,
I mean, to have the option to leave, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know how hard it is to write emo music in a beautiful setting, like a scenic island. This last thing we just recorded, I quit my like day job and I just dog sit full time now.
That's amazing.
I was at these people's house and they're like, I've cat sat at a mansion, literally one cat in a mansion. So this is like a small step down, but it's like a big house overlooking. It's like a block from the beach and it's got a bunch of sea oats in the yard. And it was just really gorgeous. And I was looking at these like cute little dogs I was taking care of. And I was like, I'm sad. And it was really hard. It was hard to do that. The life of an artist is very difficult. So,
So difficult.
In my mansion, whatever.
Yeah, it was so rough. I called the bandmates, and I'm pretty sure I was like, I'm living the movie Parasite. I'm the guy under the stairs.
Oh
all right. Well, as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you guys would like to plug?
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about what we're doing next year.
I know. Yet. I'm like,
there's the biggest band that has ever reached out to us about doing a couple days in February next year. So that's going to be a thing.
Oh.
And then we're doing a run with another big band in March.
Oh my God.
And then in May, we're doing an entire month, and we're going to go up to the East Coast. And I swear to God, we're going to throw a show in Boston. So the Death Wish has to be there and has to sign us.
Yes.
And then I don't know what else I'm supposed to be saying because our manager isn't here. But a couple months after that, we may or may not be leaving the continent.
No.
Okay.
Shut up.
Maybe my hip just cracked.
Maybe GILT World Takeover 2022.
Takeover for
honestly,
real.
It's like the only question about all these things is is there still going to be a world takeover?
Yeah.
That is, yep.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Because Europe does actually stay being responsible as opposed to us.
Yep.
Yeah, you might be able to take over the US, Europe, different story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
I just want to take over all the Buc-ee's.
Yeah, we just went to Texas and we did that. I'm pretty sure we went to every single Buc-ee's. We can and should shout out Amygdala. If anyone doesn't know them, we just did a couple days with them in Texas and stayed with them, and they are so cool. We've never done a run with another band before, and that's why next year we're doing tons of runs with bands, because we're like, oh, this is actually awesome.
Yeah. It was super, super cool, and they were just very welcoming to us as well.
Yeah.
And the scene that we got to see from their side, everything was just really cool.
I love that.
It's amazing.
All right. Well, thank you for now. This guy's been GILT, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.